Hi everyone and welcome. In this video, I'll show you how Katun eXplorer works from a practical point of view. We'll start from the foundation, how Katun eXplorer securely connects to the customer environment through the data collector agent, and how reliability is ensured with clustering. Then we'll look at security, why it matters in managed print services, and from there we'll move into day-to-day operations, how consumables alerts are automated, how analytics reports turn raw data into actionable intelligence, and how counters and blended counters help you manage volumes and billing in a flexible way. I'll be sharing my screen throughout the session so you can see how the different features work together in practice. Let's start from the very first step, connecting the customer environment to Katun eXplorer. The entry point into Katun eXplorer is what we call the DCA connector. This is a lightweight component that is installed inside the customer network and allows Katun eXplorer to securely discover and monitor printing devices. The process always starts with creating a customer in the portal. Once the customer is created, the system automatically generates a dedicated connector package for that specific customer. This is important to highlight. Every customer has their own connector package, and each one is uniquely associated with that environment. From here, there are two typical scenarios. You can send an installation invitation by email, including documentation and security information, or you can download the connector and install it yourself if you are connected to the customer network. The installation itself is very straightforward. It's a standard setup wizard, and once completed, the connector will configure automatically. In most cases, no manual configuration is required. The connector starts scanning the network and identifying printers on its own. Now, let's talk about reliability, which is where clustering comes into play. In professional environments, we don't want monitoring to stop because a single PC is turned off or restarted. That's why Katun eXplorer allows you to install multiple connectors within the same customer network. Each connector is installed on a different machine, but they all see the same network. Once multiple connectors are present, you can group them into a cluster. Inside a cluster, one connector is active as the primary, while the others act as secondary connectors. If the primary connector becomes unavailable, the failover is completely automatic. This means no data loss, no manual intervention, and continuous device monitoring. From an operational point of view, this significantly increases the stability of the service delivered to the customer. At this point, it's important to address a topic that is becoming absolutely central in managed print services: security. Printers and print infrastructure are often among the most neglected assets from a security perspective, even though they are fully connected network devices and handle sensitive information every day. And customers are becoming more aware of this, and they expect security to be part of any managed print service. For this reason, security is not an optional feature in the Katun eXplorer. It's a core design principle of the platform. The solution is built to protect confidentiality, integrity, and availability of both customer data and devices, and to prevent printers or DCAs from being used as entry points into the customer network. From a compliance and assurance perspective, Katun eXplorer holds several internationally recognized security certifications and accreditations. These include ISO/IAC 27001 for information security management, SOC 2 Type 2, which represents one of the strongest and most comprehensive security standards on the market, and CSA Star Level 2, focused on cloud security assurance. In addition to formal certifications, the platform is regularly assessed by independent third parties, such as Keypoint Intelligence and Allied. This means security is not a one-time effort, but a continuously verified process. A secure monitoring platform helps prevent operational disruptions, supports regulatory compliance, including GDPR, and significantly reduces both reputational and operational risk in the event of an attack. Now, before moving into daily operations like consumables and analytics, there's one feature I'd like to briefly highlight because it perfectly combines security and operational efficiency. This is called Device Web Access. Device Web Access allows you to open the printer's embedded web server, the device web page, directly from the Katun eXplorer portal. No VPN, no remote desktop, no need to connect to the customer's network. Any manufacturer, any model. In practice, this means that you can securely access the device configuration page from anywhere. This is extremely valuable in real-life support scenarios. Think about tasks like checking device status, verifying configuration, supporting troubleshooting, or guiding a customer through a setting. All of this can be done without asking for network access or scheduling complex remote sessions. As you'd expect, security is a key part of this feature. Device web access is available only when the device is monitored through DCA4, the user has two-factor authentication enabled, and the device identity is fully verified. Each session is time-limited, encrypted, logged for audit purposes, and restricted to that specific device only. This prevents misuse and ensures full transparency for both dealers and customers. For dealers, this means faster support, fewer on-site visits, and more efficient service operations. For customers, it means controlled, traceable access, no permanent open tunnels, and full visibility of who accessed the device and when. It's a great example of how Katun Workplace Solutions turns security into an enabler, not a limitation. With this kind of secure, direct access in place, we can now move into the operational side of the platform, starting with how the Katun eXplorer automate consumables management and daily service activities. One of the core operational benefits of Katun eXplorer is automated consumables management. The idea is simple. When a consumable reaches a defined threshold, the system automatically opens an alert that can trigger a delivery process. MPS Monitor allows you to open alerts based on 3 different criteria: consumable level percentage, remaining pages, or remaining days. These thresholds can be defined globally for the entire fleet, ensuring consistency and efficiency. At the same time, the system is extremely flexible. You can customize thresholds per device model, per customer, or even for a single device. In addition to alert opening thresholds, you can also configure secondary notifications. These are useful when you want to be notified again, as the consumable level drops further even after an alert is already open. You can decide to schedule the alert opening at a specific time and even set proximity thresholds inside a customer or an office in order to consolidate consumables deliveries in a same physical location. The result is a clear, up-to-date list of actions, what needs to be shipped, to which customer and when. Let's now move to the Analytics and Reporting section, and in particular to what we call Supplies Intelligence Dashboard. You'll find it under Analytics at the top of the list, and the name is intentional. This is not just reporting, it's intelligence. What you see here is a single dashboard that combines historical usage, current status, and future predictions. In other words, it shows what happened, what is happening, and what is likely to happen across your fleet. Before diving into the visuals, it's important to understand a couple of prerequisites, because not every setup will immediately produce meaningful predictions. The first and most important requirement is that consumables must be loaded and associated. Katun eXplorer works differently from traditional print audit tools. It's the dealer who defines which consumables are used by each device. So you create consumables, group them into consumable sets, and associate those sets to devices. This step is absolutely fundamental. Without it, the system simply doesn't have the precise information needed to calculate usage, predictions, or intelligence, and it won't be as reliable. The second key requirement is regular device readings. Supplies intelligence works best on devices that are fully managed and regularly contacted by the system. If a device hasn't been read for days or weeks, the data may still exist, but predictions will not be reliable. The more data you have and the more regularly it's collected, the more accurate the intelligence becomes. The dashboard itself is built using Power BI, which means you get an aggregated high-level view and the ability to drill down into every detail. You can filter by customer, device, model, consumable, or part number. One of the key goals here is to help dealers optimize purchasing and warehouse planning. For example, you can clearly see how many units of a specific consumable are expected to be replaced in the next 3 or 6 months. This allows dealers to plan stock more accurately, reduce overstock, and make data-driven purchasing decisions. In addition, 2 particularly powerful metrics provided by Supplies Intelligence are yield gap and coverage. Yield gap is the difference between the nominal yield of a consumable and its real-world yield. This immediately shows whether a contract based on standard assumptions like 5% coverage is profitable or not. Coverage is calculated using historical data and algorithms, not only the values exposed by the printer itself, which are often unreliable. Green values indicate lower than expected coverage. Red values indicate higher coverage. This gives dealers concrete data to understand profitability, renegotiate contracts if needed, and have transparent, fact-based discussions with customers. All predictions you see here are algorithm-based calculations built on collected data. They are statistical in nature, and accuracy improves over time as more data is collected. The last topic I want to cover is counters, and in particular blended counters. Katun eXplorer reads a wide range of raw counters from devices: mono, color, A3, A4, scans, faxes, and more. The standard mono and color counters you see are aligned with what the customer sees on the printer panel. This avoids disputes and ensures invoicing transparency. However, modern fleets and contracts often require more flexibility. That's where blended counters come in. Blended counters allow you to create custom, virtual counters by combining existing ones that we can easily identify under the tab Detailed Counters. For example, converting A3 pages into A4 equivalents, combining scans and faxes, or applying multipliers and formulas. These counters are created at dealer level and then automatically applied to relevant devices. Once created, they start processing data and can be used consistently for reporting, forecasting, and billing logic. This makes Katun eXplorer adaptable to virtually any billing or contract model, without forcing customers or dealers into rigid structures. To summarize, we've seen how Katun eXplorer supports managed print services end-to-end. We started with secure and reliable data collection through the DCA connector and clustering, then looked at how security is built into the platform with certified, independently verified protections. We covered automated consumables alerts, advanced analytics and predictive intelligence, and flexible counter management through blended counters, all working together to simplify operations and improve profitability. All these elements work together to help dealers and service providers deliver a professional, secure, and data-driven managed print service, improving efficiency, reducing risk, and increasing profitability. If you'd like to explore the platform yourself, you can request more information at www.katun.com/EMEA. Thank you for watching and see you in the next session.